Hey everybody, this is a Naked Fire Trucks exclusive look at Transformers Beast Hunters Prowl. Normally I wouldn't review something like this, normally I wouldn't even buy something like this, but it came to me in a trade where I got rid of some things that kind of offended me for being around here. Stuff that just kind of broke sitting in a box. So, many thanks to Jeff for hooking me up with this. And Bulkhead. I got Bulkhead too, which I will use for this size comparison so that you can see that Prowl is much smaller than Bulkhead. But I feel like Prowl is also much more compact than Bulkhead. Bulkhead is actually pretty cool too, but I found myself like unable to put Prowl down, which rarely happens. And I'm kind of disappointed that I didn't buy one of these sooner, or one of the $6 smoke screens that I found on clearance. Speaking of smokescreen, Prowl comes with this gun, and that's it. Smokescreen came with all of that armor crap that nobody used anyway. So I almost feel a little bit cheated in that for the same retail price, you get less in terms of accessories. I think it sort of came back out in paint, but only sort of. So I would have liked to have seen maybe dual blasters, or maybe something that could clip onto the doors to be like shoulder launchers in robot mode. Because like there's a peg hole here and a peg hole here. Very easily could have taken, you know, another similar sized weapon and, you know, put clips on them so that they can clip onto the doors or something, so that just so that you don't quite feel like you're getting the same figure with less. The gun is just a spring-loaded missile. I would have liked to see it shorter too, maybe like that, but I understand for child safety and all of that, it needed to be that long. And it doesn't really look all that awful, actually. Transformation I've actually found to be rather innovative and pretty cool, even if it does cheat. And by cheating, I mean this panel underneath is a fake hood, and also they made the headlights on that panel blue and they're actually orange up here. But that doesn't bother me. Like, I don't need to see the hood become the hood in both modes. If they can, like, this panel just folds away onto the bottom of the car. It's not like it's in the way. If it was something that was like atrociously hanging off the back, I would say they should have figured out a way to use the hood as the hood. But since it's, you know, it's this panel that folds flat onto the bottom, and these end up being more in the way in robot mode, I'm fine with it. So you unpeg the hood and the doors. The doors don't really unpeg from anything. It's just a matter of removing the entire front of the police sports car. And then you split it. And I just popped the arm off, but that's okay, because then I can get in there and show things a little bit better. What happens is, I thought this was pretty neat. All of it is pegged onto this wheel, and then this wheel, first you want to get the bumper out of the way, because that becomes the shoulder pads. This wheel then pegs on in the torso, and you got to have it lined up just right to get that to stay. But then once it stays, it's actually very secure. And I might have done something out of order here. No, it's cool. So then the arm comes like this. You want to rotate the roof around to the back and fold up the hood. And the elbow is actually a nice ratchet. And then there's a swivel just above the elbow, which I like. Kind of disappointed there is no wrist swivel, but given his weaponry, it doesn't really matter. Shoulder, as you just saw, is a ball joint. So, not my favorite kind of joint anymore on a figure, because I've had too many quality problems with them to enjoy them. But at least on this one particular instance of a figure, it's okay. So the same thing over here. Pieces to the back, and then around the back here, the doors come up and they peg in underneath the piece that the head is on. That gets them a little bit, they're levered off of that, and then this piece comes up and pegs everything together, so all of that is levered together kind of nicely, using itself to support itself. And then the legs I thought were kind of neat too. You first rotate the waist around, but then you flip up the back bumper, then the foot flips down and the front of the leg comes forward and pegs in kind of nicely there. So there he is. You can kind of get his shoulders up where shoulders are supposed to be. There he is in robot mode. So I kind of would have liked to have seen, you know, maybe dual launchers that could have somehow, like there's these little tabs here. There's, you know, like this slot here between the window and the door. You know, even something that clipped onto the mirror, like something that, this gun is okay. I would have liked some kind of dual shoulder launchers. Like even this gun with the shoulder mounted something would be neat. Like that's not pegged into anything. It's just resting on his shoulder, and that I like the way that looks much better than I like the way that looks. But I do actually really enjoy this figure. Here he is with Pokey. So, you know, pretty standard size modern deluxe. It's not like a figure of the year quality figure, but I am enjoying it much more than I thought I would, which is saying something, because usually I don't even bother looking at most of this retail stuff. So that is Beast Hunter's Prowl.